I, Romano Kane, we're going to do a song for you that we wrote called You Win.
Featured in that film, it was a real classic. It's not, this, like Jose, is not with us anymore, but it was just a classic surfer and a real coordinated athlete. He was all CIA in baseball, he was a real good football player in high school, he was in everything you could think of in athletics. And Butchie Butch Van Arsdale was just a classic individual. And a very good friend of his is Kimo. And I'd like to have Kimo say a few words about Butchie.
Yeah, like Chubby was like my older brother, and Butch was my younger brother. And I got a lot of heat, but when Butch came, then, you know, I passed it on to him, so. You know, but he was, as you can see in the movie, he was such a great guy, so full of life, and everybody liked him. And being a guy from California, he had so many local friends, you know, male and female. It was very sad when we had to see him go, but that's what he wanted to do, and we have to stand by what he did. But my family, we just love the guy. And you know, you see what a fantastic surfer he was, and what a good friend he was. And I just want to tell you people that he was one of a kind. Thank you very much.
Jock Sutherland, when Jock Sutherland came along a little bit after well, he actually was surfing in '63, but he actually became a real star of Pipeline and the North Shore right after that. And Jock kind of replaced Butchie, or what became, every generation you have a kind of a king of the spot, and Butchie was the king of Pipeline. And then right after that came Jock Sutherland, and was just an unbelievable surfer and a wonderful individual. And he produced an aerial specialist in Gavin. And Gavin now is charging big waves at Waimea and everything else. And he, you know, I haven't seen Gavin for quite a while. I think it's been maybe 5 or 10 years I haven't seen Gavin. But he looks a lot like Jock now. And I don't know if he wants to hear that or not. But I'd like to have Gavin just say a few things about how Jock and Butchie and all these guys rode Pipeline, and what he knows about the past.
Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it. Just sitting here on the stage, I'd like to offer how much I am honored just to be sitting here with these greats right here. So I thought I'd give a big like Peter was saying, my father did, you know, a great job at Pipeline. He had his predecessors follow him, and for me to be sitting here kind of telling my father's stories and what he told me, he was always saying how, you know, Peter and Butch and Jose and some of the, you know, the greatest of the greatest inspired him to be that agile and that creative of a surfer. And you know, all the stories that I heard from my father and taught me how to be the waterman that I am, and I just thought I'd give my biggest, humblest respects to all these gentlemen that are sitting here before me. So I thought I'd say thank you very much.
I thought it would be really good. By the way, that board in the very beginning, that red board you saw that was going on the top of the car, that was my board. But I want, there's a little history to that board. That's the first board that Dick Brewer ever made. Yeah. And it was, he had Bob Shepard helping him shape it. And he really took off from there, but that was the first board he made, and it was a really good board. And I thought that that had a little bit of history to it. I don't know where that board is now. I wish I could have kept it. I could have done something with it. But there's a lot of things that went on in those years, and it was fun to see all that footage again, because it's been a while since I've seen it. But that was a great classic group, and Ricky really stood out at Sunset, and I have to say, Ricky and I came over in 1958 together. He came over to enroll for his master's degree at University of Hawaii in biology, or marine biology, I guess, and I came over to teach at Punahou, and that was our first year, and we went out. I remember going out at sunset, and it was about maybe 4 or 5 feet, and we were surfing the point, and then it was 6 to 8, and then it was 8 to 9 or 10, and we were going further and further out. We didn't know what we were doing, because it's the first time we'd ever surfed it, and it got really big fast. And both of us really loved that place. That was our favorite. I think, I don't know, I can't really speak for Ricky, but it's my favorite spot. To me, it's the best wave in the world. I'm kind of biased, but Ricky, what do you think?
Well, I'm glad you gave me a chance to say something about that day, because it really goes to how much surfing has changed. Excuse me. What I remember about that day is that we drove up together in 1958, I think it was, maybe it was 7, and we were trying to figure out, was this Sunset Beach? And we didn't know, nobody was out. And I looked at Peter and I said, well, let's try and find someone to ask him. And Peter said, oh, what the heck, Peter, Ricky, let's go, that could be surfed. And I mean, he was out in that water as fast as a mongoose. But what really makes it a poignant experience is that was 1950, I think it was 8. By 62, which is when most of this footage was taken, the crowds that had developed in just 4 years were just fantastic. I mean, it's unbelievable. It wasn't crowded, anything like it is today, but it struck me in just 4 years how the sport exploded and how popular and fast it became what we know today, and because of Bud. And I certainly take my hat off to Bud, because without Bud, we wouldn't have this memory, we wouldn't have this history. And of course to Anna for bringing it here. Anna Trent Moore is now the curator of the Bud Brown film collection, and she takes his films all over the world. And so let's all thank Anna for bringing it here.